Hello and welcome to the next 639 enrichment program. I'm Amy Brown, your host, and I have already done this one time and I got to the very end and hit, instead of the stop button, I hit the abort button and it did not save it. So if I sound tired, I am. But it's going to be great. We'll consider that the dress rehearsal. So anyway, this one is about what's new for you in 2019 and 2020. Now, there is some information in this that is specific to our council and to our service unit 639, and I put that stuff at the end, so you're welcome to hit stop before that. Or if you think this is horrible, you can hit stop before that too. But the first half of it is about stuff from GSUSA, and I got this information from a webinar that they directly put on over the summer. So in case you're wondering where that comes from, now you know. Before I begin, just want to say this is unofficial. I am not serving in any sort of capacity as a facilitator or my counsel. So if I say something that's wrong or I make a snide comment, not that I would ever do that, but you just know this is unofficial. So don't go screaming to our counsel. But if you want to come screaming to me, that's fine. But anyway, we'll go on. Oh wait, got to do this first. So if you don't know me, I do have kind of a weird sense of humor sometimes, and this graphic just sums it up. So in case you are like, what is going on with this thing? Fair warning. So let's just go on and dive in. GSUSA, they're still hot and heavy with the STEM badges, and this is a new one called Coding for Good. And this is also like the robotics, where it is a progressive series. There's 3 of them. It's for all levels. In the past, they would only put out the Daisy, Brownie, and junior levels, but now they're doing them all at once, which is awesome. You can find them in Volunteer Toolkit as activity plans, and they have them as both unplug, which means you don't have internet access, or you can use the CodeSpark Online Academy and do the activity plans that way. All of them, I'm not going to go through, like as I go through each badge, you'll see, but all of them, you can either download them as a PDF directly from the GSUSA online website, or you can get printed requirements from the store. It is like a 24-page packet, and there are the prices. These are what they look like, all levels. And for all levels, the the badges are all coding basics, digital game design, and app development. There are new outdoor badges. GSUSA has a partnership with the North Face, so this is really exciting. It's for all levels. Yay! Now, there's this one, and then there's the next one that I'll go through, but each one of these have 2 paths that you can choose. And the one for this one is either running or hiking. Now, I'm going to be doing the hiking one if we do this badge, because I don't run. My knees, I'm old, and just ain't going to happen. But like the others, PDF download or printed requirements, there are the prices. Also, there are activity plans in VTK. So you've got a lot of choices there. And just like the last one, there's a snow or climbing adventure. The 2 paths are either snow or climbing, if you hadn't figured that out. And since we live in South Carolina, we have no choice but do the climbing. Maybe the snow for one day or something like that. But anyway, we're going to be doing climbing. And just like the others, they're PDF printed requirements or VTK. There are also cybersecurity badges for the older girls, and that's because the same topic, the cybersecurity, came out last year for Daisies, Brownies, and Juniors. So now it's the older girl's turn, and these are also a progressive badge. Now, I just want to comment, unless you are an expert in cybersecurity and computing, I would suggest going directly to VTK for the activity plans, because especially with the older girls, it starts getting more and more technical, and the activity plans specifically have instructions, and they go into more detail for the glossary. And honestly, for any of these progressive badges, the printed requirements are very vague, in my opinion. So I would go with VTK. Even if you don't like VTK, you can use it. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't use it to run my troop, but you can actually add, you can go through and add the badges and the activity plans to your year plan, and you don't have to set up meetings. It will just bring them down and then you can access them that way. So I hope that helps. The older girls also have a citizen scientist journey, and again, those were released, the brownies and juniors, daisies, brownies, and juniors had those last year. They're only found in VTK, so you're not going to be able to download them or get them from the store. And they're as far as I can tell, they are set up the same way as the younger girls. And we did the junior citizen scientist journey last year. And you use a website called SciStarter. You log in, create an account. The girls pick out which project they want to work on, and then that takes you to either an app that you can download for that particular project or their website, and then you log the information in that way. Now, if you're doing it at a place, like last year we were Camp Way Back, obviously didn't have service there. I kind of made up a modified version and then uploaded the data at a later date. The nice thing with the older girls is they've got phones and they can download the apps to do it themselves. Whereas with the younger girls, if it was an app, you had 10, 12 girls standing around looking at 1 leader with a phone, 1 or 2 leaders. So I think this will be a little more, it kind of fits in more with the older girls just because they've got phones and can use apps. They also have new space badges. Again, kind of recommend going through the VTK, but also get PDF download and the printer requirements there. Also, these are not new per se, but GSUSA said that they have it as part of the official programming. And I think what they meant by that is that you can get these as activity plans in Volunteer Toolkit, whereas they were not available before. You could only download them as a PDF packet, which you can still do that. You can get it from the GSUSA website. And they did say, and this was the case before, but it just wasn't well known, but these awards can be worn on the front of the vest. They're considered earned, and therefore you can put them, the girls can wear them where they put their badges. So just want to make a note of that. They also put out a new resource called Open the Gate, and it is a toolkit. You can find it as a PDF download in the VTK. I downloaded it and kind of briefly looked through it. They've got girls that games can play. All of these, the whole packet is around civic engagement and advocacy. Now, I do want to mention that there are some sensitive issues that are brought up. So if you decide to do any of those activities, then what you're going to need to do is to go to our Council's Forms website and fill out a sensitive issues approval and turn that into Council. And once you get that approval, there is a sensitive issues permission slip that you will need to download and get all of your parents to sign. So just so you know that going ahead of time. I also looked around. I could not find an award for this. If there is one, let me know. Put something in the comments or drop me an email. Like I said, I couldn't find one, so I thought I'd mention that just so you didn't spend the time looking for it. There's also a new cookie award. Now that means that the cookie pen is going away. So if you really like those, I'm sorry. But this Entrepreneur Family Award pen set is very similar to My Promise, My Faith, where girls can earn one per year. So it's like a 2-set pen, except for cadets, since they're 3 years. And this activities are more geared toward working with the family. So GSUSA wants to involve the family more with the cookie program. I've already mentioned that the cookie pen will be retired. You can find the requirements as a packet either on VTK or the GSUSA website, and in the information section of YouTube, I will put links to the page on the GSUSA website. There's new content in VTK, so if you hate VTK, you're missing out. Yes, I did say that. The cadet badges are now, they're all loaded. They have them set up where they've got the 5 steps. It's very similar to what you'll find in the badge requirements. That's neat. Not sure, they didn't say when senior and ambassador will be uploaded, but I'm assuming maybe next year. They also have now all the classic journeys in, all levels. I was like, dang, go GSUSA, y'all been busy. But they're now in the 6th session instead of the 8 or 10 that are in the books. And a couple years ago, they said they were going to do this, and they used the term modularization. And I don't think that's a real word, but it's some business jargon, so just thought I'd mention that. If you do use VTK, you may be familiar with the little tree icon, and what that means is that particular activity plan is specific to something that you can do outdoors. And related to that is this now global button, and that means that that activity has like a world view to it. So when you see that, you now know what it is. Also, GSUSA said that service unit managers, admin volunteers that don't have troops, and Juliets now have access. Now, some friends that I know from another council said that that means it's basically like a demo website that they were sent to. So not sure what that involves, but that's just what I was told. So thought I'd mention it. Also, GSUSA has come up with new user guides, which is great to see. And they're about bridging and family connections and travel. So go into VTK and go to the resources tab, and you will find those. They're really good. Go GSUSA. It's really nice to see that. So check those out. Also, there are these memory books, and I think they're really neat. And I took a picture of the inside so that you could see. And basically what they've done is they took the information that you could download from Badge Explorer, which is a summary of the 5 steps, and they put it into this little mini book. That is not 8.5 by 11. They're a smaller size, kind of like a journal type size. And the girls can, have their troop leaders sign it, make notes. They're really, really cool. Now, I do have to mention that I was told that they're going to put it, because I said, well, what happens when they come out with new badges and journeys like they've been doing? And the person said, well, they're going to put a new one out each year. So I was kind of like, well, but then, will the girl transfer that, their signatures? I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work, but I just wanted to mention that. But they are very nice. So kudos. Also, you may already know this, you probably do. There is now an official vest. Now, I guess you can wear your official scarf with this, but I reserve my official scarf, my polka dot one, for really serious business. So, and then there's the volunteer scarf, which I wear with this. But anyway, I'm digressing. I would suggest ordering one size up. There is a special going on at our council shop. I don't know if that's an ongoing one or like a monthly thing in case you're watching this months down the road. But if you get all the insignia, it totals up to $50 and you get a free prize. New from our council. So if you're from another council, you can turn this off now. And you say, oh my, thank goodness, had enough. But anyway, our council earlier this year, over the summer, mailed out a Family Connection parent guide to all of the parents, and it is great. It's really neat. So if you've gotten one and you haven't looked at it, you really need to, because it's awesome. And definitely use it as a reference for your troop meetings. I think GSUSA put this out so all councils have it, but it is really, really great to see this. Also, as a side note, this wasn't announced, but Volunteer Essentials is now online. However, it looks like just the template from GSUSA, and so there's a lot of information missing. So I don't know if our council is going to customize it or what, but I would still hang on to a copy of the, I know it's old, the 2016-17 volunteer essentials, and use that as your reference, because like I said, I don't know what their plans are, but I'll also put this link in the information section. The now focal point is no more. RIP, rest in peace, focal point. There's now an event guide, and what our council is, what they're concentrating now on are on large events and not the smaller ones that like can only have 15 or 20 girls, because what was happening were troops were filling those up very quickly, and then everybody would get frustrated because they're like, oh, I wanted to get in, but you know, one large troop filled up the whole thing. So they're moving away from those, and instead at some point they're going to put out like an official partners guide or database or something, and it's not quite up yet, but troops can, you know, access those partners to set up their own programs through them directly. There are also, now at one point I had said there was less programming, and somebody was like, no, that's not right, but semantics, we'll move on. There are now more events being planned by other service units, which is great to see, and they have a lot of them have opened them up to other service units, and in some of them they can even use cookie dough, which is awesome. So look out for those service unit events, and I will get in a second, I'll tell you how to find out about them. Now again, if you're not from Service Unit 639, you can turn it off at this point, because now everything from here on out is specific to our service unit. The leader guide has been updated. This is different. It's unofficial. There is an official one on the council website, so just have to give a plug for that. It's like I said, this leader guide's got updates. It's got pretty much the same thing in essence from last year, but there's more, you know, there's updated stuff and all that sort of thing. You can get a printed copy at our leader meetings, or you can download the PDF from the website or the Facebook group. If you get a printed copy, we are asking that you limit it to one per troop, just to save on money. So what's new with us? Well, like I mentioned before, other service units are putting on events, but go to our calendar, or I'm sorry, go to our service unit website, go to the calendar tab, and below our service unit calendar, you will see a team up calendar that's got the council, community, or other service unit events, and it is great. Thank you, Denise, for setting that up, but I have embedded that into our website, so it's really easy access to go to it. And if you're not already watching it, the enrichments will now be on YouTube. That's where you're watching it right now. So these are things that the presentations that I put on at the end of a leader meeting, and a lot of people can't come to those, so that's why I decided to record these on YouTube. Now, our service unit, there's going to be an official partner guide or whatever from the council, but we're going to have, I'm going to set up an unofficial website. I've already set it up and I'm working on it. It's going to take a while to populate, but some of this information is already in the links database, but it's going to be transferred to its own website where you can comment about the program, you can report it if the information is outdated, or you can submit your own, which I highly encourage it if you could do that, because that would, you know, the more information, the better. Also, there are STEM kits. Our service unit inherited some old 96 STEM kits, and they were specific to retired badges. And since that program is no longer available, Hannah and I went through and put all those kits together into their own thing. And you can use those for patch programs or for some programming. And you didn't hear me say this, but we're kind of going to make an unofficial badge, I didn't say that, or patch. And that's going to be coming out soon, so take a look for that. But it's going to incorporate these STEM kits. Also, we have a lot of free craft supplies. I put them out before the September meeting, and a lot were taken, but we still have some. So please, please, please take this, because otherwise it's just gathering dust. Real quick, what's in our service unit library? We have all the girl guides, all the additional badge packs, those 3 things that you can buy, and any of the badges that have come out since then are all in a separate notebook that you can check out. So definitely use these. Also, all of the classic journeys, the girls and adult guides, can be checked out. There are also retired level handbooks. Those are great resources. I highly encourage you to take a look at those. There's some additional resources and patch design, patch program booklets. And we may even have some of the patches in stock, which brings me, I'll get to that in a second. These are things you can check out. I'm not going to go through the list. You can find it in the leader guide. Just let me or Marla know. All of them except for the bridge are found in the scout closet at SUMC. The bridge is at our service unit, storage unit. I'm continuing on with this. I've already mentioned some of that. Patch inventory. Please do not order patches without checking this out first. You will save a little bit of money. The patches are either 50 cents or $1 for Patchwork Designs. You'll save a little bit, and I've got a link to where you can order more if you need to. We've got various insignia and stuff for sale. Like I mentioned before, where the library is located. Please don't forget to return them, because other people want to use them, and so that I don't have to follow up with you and nag you and say, hey, are you still using this? Blah, blah, blah. And that's it. I am done for the second time. But again, I hope you enjoy this. I hope it was very helpful to you, and I will just check out the next one. Hopefully you like this. I'll talk to you later.